Hello, my name's Rob and welcome to Swift Slots. Now the other day I was finishing off a white kit for my next YouTube upload, and that white kit had little melts, little posts that you melt to the top of and it mushrooms over and it holds the pieces into place. All slot cars have got them, but as a modeler I very rarely use those melts. In fact, I don't think I've ever used those melts. I tend to use super glue or ordinary glue or a bit of white glue or even a little bit of silver foil tape to hold interiors in. But I've never actually used the melts, mainly because I haven't got anything to melt them with, because you need quite a low heat. Now soldering iron comes to mind, a little 15-watt soldering iron, but even that's going to be too hot and it will just mush up the post and it will just disappear to nothing and you cause more damage than anything else. But I thought this time I would step up my game a little bit and try and work out how to melt these melts reliably. So what I did is I went into my spares boxes and I found enough parts to make this little tool. So all it is a wooden handle, is 100mm long roughly, 22mm round roughly, tapered the last 40mm down to 10mm just for a bit of ergonomics, and the little brass bar here is a piece of brass rod. It goes into the handle about half as much as it sticks out, and it's 4mm in diameter, and I say it's solid brass rod just going into the handle, just pushed and glued into this little wooden handle that I've made. And what you do with this is you heat it up, and now I use my little blowtorch. So you blowtorch there and you heat up the end of the brass until it's hot, and then you can just literally put your parts together in your white kit and you can melt them down, and it works really well. So I thought I would share this little tool with you because I'm sure that a lot of people are building white kits out there and doing like I used to do, just using super glue, when really a little melting tool is absolutely ideal. Now you don't actually need to even make a little melting tool like this. You could actually use an old screwdriver. So if you've got an old screwdriver in your toolbox that's pretty well useless, maybe the Phillips head that's all rounded over like we've all got, chop it off, grind it nice and flat, and you could use that. I would recommend though that you actually use something with a wooden handle ideally, because wood doesn't transfer heat very well. So obviously you're going to be heating this brass up quite a lot and it's going to get hot. So if it's in a plastic handle, you might well find that the plastic handle starts to get a bit wonky after a while. So a little wooden handle would be absolutely ideal. But you could use a piece of dowel. This is hardwood. You don't have to use hardwood. You could use a bit of softwood, but a bit of softwood would be fine, but a bit of hardwood's better. And it took me about 5 minutes to make. Really simple tool. And like I say, the sizes that I've given you work really well. They're very ergonomic and it works extremely well for melting the little posts. And you've got a lot of control. Thing is, if you heat this up too much, all it'll do is you'll just go into the post a little bit quicker. But it's quite hard to heat up too much, because when you're heating it up with a blowtorch, you get a bit impatient and you get a bit bored waiting for it. So more often than not, you'll take the tool to the job too cold and it just doesn't do as much. So you just go back and you heat it up a little bit longer and you could do it again. You can go back to the post and you can remelt it, and you soon get an idea for how hot it needs to be. So I found it works really well. Now you don't have to use a blowtorch. You could use one of the larger blowtorches that you know with a little handle on you use for plumbing work. That would work. You just have the little flame just wicking out gently. But what I did find is I tried to use a candle, and I found that a candle doesn't really work because the flame is quite sooty, and believe it or not, it doesn't actually get this probe hot enough to melt anything. You sit there and it just sits there for ages, and then you take it out, you go to use it, and it's just not hot enough. And also it makes the brass all black, so when you try and put the point onto your post, it just makes it go all black and a bit horrible. So I found that the blowtorch works really well. It takes about 5 to 10 seconds to get it heated up initially, and if you've got a job on the go where you've got plenty of melts that you've got to do, you heat it up for maybe 30 seconds for the first go, you melt it, and then it's only like a 10-second top up after that, and you can go around and you can do all your melts. So it's absolutely brilliant little tool. So I thought what I would do is make this quick little video just to show you my little melt tool, because I'm sure that it might help quite a lot of people out there trying to struggle with doing melts like I did. So there we are, a little melt tool. So if you've enjoyed this sort of content, maybe you'll subscribe, and if you could hit the little bell button, that would be awesome. So until the next time, thank you very much.